And there we go. So it's on, and I'm not even going to use this very much, but I'm only going to put her out about 6 or 8 feet or so. I'm going to get my whistle in, and remember that 3 blast means to come here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get her 3 blast, reel her in like a fishing pole. When she gets to me, I'm going to mark and reward. Yes, good girl. I just walk around, let her explore. We'll just walk around and I'll let her explore. And once she gets out and about and not paying me no attention, I'll blast, mark, and reward. Yes, good girl. And this is the first time we're actually working this. So after a few repetitions, she'll learn that, hey, if she stays close to me, she'll be rewarded a lot easier. Yes, good girl. And I'll drop the long line because she's doing good, but I can have the long line to grab if I need to. Yes, good girl. Yes, good girl, good girl. If you are a marker trainer, you can use your markers here. You can use the free, you can use the all done, whatever it is. I like to use free in my training, which means you are free, no longer expected to do what you are wanting to do, but keep paying attention. And then yes means you're no longer expected to do that repetition. So if you do markers, you can incorporate them here. I just like to do as silent as possible. Yes. And there she was actually smelling something that really had her attention, but I got her attention with the whistle. Yes, good girl, good girl. Good girl. I'll just give her one for paying attention to me. But this is also how I do loose leash heeling, is I just get them to understand that it's more fun and rewarding to stay close to me. Now, I prefer loose lead heeling whenever I'm out doing stuff with the dogs, because they have to work twice as hard to burn off the same amount of energy that I do. They have 4 legs, 1 step for me, they can bound and jump. So I like to just draw an imaginary circle about 10 yards. And as long as they stay within that circle, I let them do whatever they want to, as long as they recall back to me. See, she's paying pretty good attention to me. Yes, good girl, good girl. But see, her tail's wagging. The blasts kind of scare at first, but she'll get used to it, and she'll be classically conditioned that whenever she hears those whistles, it's a good thing. It's exciting. She's going to get a reward. She can come back and do whatever. Now, typically what they used to do back in the day with this e-collar, they would have the long line and they would just blast the dog and call the dog over to us. And they just keep blasting the dog until the dog got back. And once the dog got back, they'd release that pressure. So what would happen is the dog learns that, hey, I feel this pressure. The only way to get it to turn off is to go back to dad. So that's why a lot of times when you hear the old school guys, they do recalls, the dogs, kind of hunker down, they come running back. Well, we want the dog to come back to us and have fun and exciting. Yes, good girl. Good girl. This is how you can get a really solid recall on a dog in rather quick. Now, once she slowly starts understanding things a little bit better, then we can add the vibrate function on the e-collar to get that extra motivation. So if I blow the whistle 2 or 3 times and she doesn't come back, and I know at this point she does understand that the whistle means to recall, but she's just not doing it, then I can add the e-collar work to proof that. Because at that point she understands. She's actually being punished because she understands what is expected. Right now she doesn't know that. She doesn't understand what those blasts are. All right, baby. Haha. Yes, good girl. So this is her very first session ever doing the whistle recall. She's doing real good, so I'm going to change it up and just use her name. Ada. Yes, good girl. So now I like to use just the name as a recall. So if there's 4 or 5 dogs out running around and I say their name, they come back to me. But for different sports, there's different things. You can use, here, you can use anything you want to be your personal recall. I know some trainers, they have 2 separate recalls. One would just be like, Ada. Ada. Yes, good girl. So it would just be we're out in the yard having a good time, I want you to stay close. And then they have a serious recall. That means you must get here now as fast as possible. It's life or death, and they may put that on as here. So it's just whatever you decide to do with your own dog. But I'm going to keep continuing doing this session. You're not going to watch me, do this for 15, 30 minutes of just whistle and feed, but it's the same thing. Whistle or call the name. When the dog turns and runs back to you, you mark and you reward. Yes, good girl. Good girl. Yes, good girl. But notice how excited she is. Come. Yes, good girls. Good girls. Oh. Yes, good girl. Good girl, babies. Good girl. Yes, good girl. Now, if you have a certain position you want for your recall, I know a lot of people like to recall to heel, then you could lure them into a heel when they get back to you. So you can go, good. Yes, good girl. And then you can go do something like that. Or if you want to teach a front, you can recall, lure them into a front. Yes, good girl. So you can mold it however you want. Right now, it's the first session. I don't want to get too far out there, too far advanced. I just want her to get classically conditioned to the whistle and the recall. Yes, good girl. And you would do the same thing with puppies, but with puppies you might have to be a little bit more excitable to keep their attention. Yes, good girl. And now I'm going to try to put the sit on a whistle. Yes, good. Yes, good. Nope. Yes, good. Yes, good. She's figuring it out. And through many repetitions and by being consistent, if she's way out there and I blast the whistle one long whistle, she should stop, turn, and sit and watch me. And then I could cast her, I could send her back, or I could recall her back with 3 short whistles. Yes, good girl. So now I'm going to try to do both. 3 blast, recall. When she comes back to me, blast one long one and see if she'll sit. Yes, good. Good girl. Yes, good. Very first session ever hearing the whistle. But what she's doing is she's looking at my body language. She's saying he's staying stationary. He's not going anywhere. So I'm going to sit and wait to see what he wants me to do. Then she sits. She goes, that must be what he wants me to do. And eventually he'll, or she will get conditioned to that. Yes, good. Good girl. Good. Couple more extras. Yeah. Good girl. But notice it's all positive, no negative. She's a little flinchy at first when she heard the whistle because it scared her, first time she ever heard a whistle. But now she's starting to see that whistle as a good thing. Go. Yes, good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Nope, no healing? Okay. Yes, good girl. Go on. Go on. If she doesn't start leaving me where I can start doing the recall and she's staying pretty close, I may just work the sit. Because she knows I have food, she knows we're having training, she knows we're having fun, so she doesn't want to go too far away from me because I'm more interesting than the stuff on the ground. Yes, good. Good girl. That's why puppies are really easy to train on the recall, because they naturally want to be close to you. They may get distracted, but then if you turn and start jogging away, they'll go, oh, I want to go with you, wait for me. And then you can mark and reward it. Yes, good girl, free, all done.